Hamas is considered a terrorist organization because the State of Israel is recognized and established. Some Muslim countries do not consider it so because they view that the Jews are occupiers. How is this argument articulated? The argument regarding Hamas being considered a terrorist organization is often articulated based on the recognition and establishment of the State of Israel. Here are two perspectives commonly presented. 1. Israeli perspective. From the Israeli perspective, Hamas is considered a terrorist organization because it refuses to recognize the State of Israel and is actively involved in armed resistance against Israeli forces. Israel views itself as a sovereign state established through legitimate means, including the United Nations recognition in 1947. According to this perspective, Hamas's use of violence, such as rocket attacks and suicide bombings, against Israeli civilians is seen as acts of terrorism aimed at undermining the security and existence of the Israeli state. 2. Muslim perspective. On the other hand, some Muslim countries and individuals do not consider Hamas a terrorist organization because they view Israel as an occupying force. They argue that the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 resulted in the displacement and dispossession of Palestinian Muslims and Arabs from their ancestral lands. From this perspective, Hamas's resistance against Israeli occupation is seen as a legitimate struggle for self-determination and the right to reclaim their land. Some argue that labeling Hamas as terrorist undermines the legitimate grievances and aspirations of the Palestinian people. It's important to note that these perspectives represent broad generalizations, and opinions on this complex issue can vary significantly among individuals, countries, and international organizations.
But what is happening now is because of what happened on October the 7th. The Hamas terror attack on Israel and 1,400 people murdered and more than 200 hostages taken.
What is happening now is an extension of a very slow, systematic, unreported ethnic cleansing that has been happening since 1948. What is happening now didn't start on the 7th of October. It started in 1948, in May 1948. And it was happening very slowly. And what happened on the 7th of October only escalated Israel's already established ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians.
I mean, I understand that is your perspective. It's a very sensitive phrase to use. I mean, Israel is a state, a legitimate state that has a right to defend itself and suffered a heinous terror attack. And nobody wants to see the scale of horror that is going on.
So the word defends itself is an oxymoron in itself. Israel is an occupying force in the Palestinian territories. So when you're an occupying force, you can't really defend yourself because you're the attacker. They're a legitimate occupation.
Of course, Israel's answer to that would be it had withdrawn from Gaza. It never withdrew from Gaza. Okay.
It's still occupying it.